We are back,
Live recorded
live recorded. It's like fresh frozen.
for your convenience.
This is Ed, this is Chris. We work at Old North State Winery, and every week we taste 4 international wines here in person at 6 p.m. on Thursday nights. We call it our Thursday Night Tasting Club. And for those of you that can't make it, we make this little virtual video of 2 of the wines. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to taste 2
Pretty
wines,
exciting.
and we're going to talk about wines, probably talk about some other random stuff.
That's usually how it goes. A lot of tangents on this show.
Is it a show?
I don't know.
Man,
It just sounded right. It just
Man.
came right out. Even think about it.
can we just call it a show from now on?
From now on, it's our show.
This
Ed,
is,
the Ed and Chris show where people drink.
yeah, it's going to be one of the lowest rated shows in the history
It
of
already
television.
is.
Well, we have fun. That's what really matters. And those of you that were wise enough to pick up your tasting kits are going to be enjoying these wines right along the side of us. That's a nice one, Sheffy.
Oh boy, look at how perfect it is.
Oh, yeah. We're going to start off in France.
Bottled right there at the chateau.
Voila.
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
I
yes.
like that pour.
Le Clos D'Augustin. A beautiful Burgundian red. We are talking about Burgundy. We're talking about Pinot Noir and how delicious it is. This is a real great value from France. You don't really get to say that very often in Burgundy because Burgundy is, it's a pricier region, and for good reason. I mean, Pinot Noir is very difficult to grow, and they're trying to deliver something here under $30, and I'm anxious to hear what you think about it. I tried this 2 weeks ago, really liked it.
Big. Super big. Tons of pepper, tons of leather.
Man, that's slick, isn't it?
It is slick. A lot of bubbles. Got good alcohol in it.
Yeah, I was really pleased with this. Typically, I don't like a Pinot under $30 from France. It just typically doesn't deliver in my book. But I think this over delivers, and I think that you're going to really enjoy this. Chef, beautifully, structured. I mean, just if you take out the flavor profile of here, from start to finish, just perfect structure in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, this is it's a stunner from. I wouldn't have believed the price point.
You got that delicious, I would say probably even black cherry here, not just cherry.
Not just cherry, black cherry, and you don't normally associate black fruit with Pinot.
Yeah.
It's always red.
Yeah. Usually we would think of maybe a tartar cherry here. Absolutely gorgeous, slick, great mouthfeel here. It is from a co-op dating back to 1928, so they've been doing a little bit.
They know a thing or two.
And you have here mostly vat fermentation, but there was about 15% oak barrel fermentation, so that you are getting a little tiny bit of that flavor profile in there. But certainly that roundness, that mouthfeel is where that really shines through, in my opinion. And this is the time of year for Pinot. All of our white wine drinkers, which includes me too, but it's when it's time to get into these cooler weather, white wine drinkers are looking for some reds, and look no further than Burgundy. You've got Beaujolais, and you've got of course Pinot Noirs all over the place, and they're just such a great transition for white wine drinkers to red. They're not heavy, they're not boisterous, they're not overdone, and they're so great with food.
And certainly the food of the season.
Absolutely.
Sure. They're gonna do great with birds and all manner of things and root vegetables.
Oh,
I love
yes,
root vegetables.
absolutely. Well, we've done it quite a few times with some fungi as well.
Believe it, especially right now. I think we're right in the tail end, but the Hen of the Woods You know, they just eat those up.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, the chef's table's been just brilliant for
Yeah,
Pinot the
big
last probably 3 or 4.
oh, and you've been
We've had a
finding
Pinot.
some superstars on that too.
Yeah.
I mean, some.
Well, this one's going to be on a
Well,
chef's
I'd
table
say
soon.
this is every bit as big as that Bel Glace that you've been serving. It certainly doesn't have some of the. It doesn't have the pedigree, but well, actually, it does have the pedigree. But you know, I mean, the price point. But it
Right.
certainly stands up to it. It's huge
Yeah.
for a Pinot. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
for a
not a
Pinot.
huge. I mean, you're not
Nice.
going to.
I love that toasty finish too.
Well, and it's getting some air. The red fruit's coming out.
Yeah,
You know,
agreed.
you're getting a little bit of raspberry now.
Yes.
Not so much strawberry like the Oregon Pinot. This is more raspberry, a little richer.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Little cocoa.
cocoa. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
little cocoa dust on the end too. It's really got a lot going on. I think you're really going to be pleased with this. This is one of those wines that, you know, it could be quite impressive with a meal and also stand alone by itself. Oftentimes I find Burgundies really need food, but I don't think this one does.
This one doesn't, but I mean, all Burgundies are enhanced by food, but
Sure.
certainly this is.
And the food is as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Believe that.
Yeah.
Believe that. No, this is terrific. Absolutely terrific. What a treat to start off.
Yeah, we're
I feel
swinging.
sorry for this guy. Has to come.
It's a tough act to follow. There's no doubt about it. But what are you thinking about pairing with these, Chef?
There you go. So we've got. You know what you really want with this is a little visit from a long lost friend, Mr. Quacker's.
So
And
we got
it-
both the dishes
pastrami
here.
style.
Oh yes, one of our all-time
All
favorites.
our all-time favorites. It's classic. It's Come Back Home. Have that with some poached golden raisins, a little bit of balsamic and carrot.
Beautiful.
All the things that Pinot should love. But I love the pastrami, mustard pepper crust with this Pinot was really kind of sealed the deal. And yet again, like what I tried to do too when you were telling me about this, this is also one of those packages where I think both the pairings would be fun to,
Oh yeah.
to
Okay.
kind of try with each. So maybe hold a little back and try a little bit of the other with this too, because we've got.
And let's go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, you got some golden beets, which I roasted, with some goat cheese and pistachio. So, which I think will be great with the Italian number, but also great with this Pinot. I mean, goat cheese and beets, just love Pinot. And of course, always a little nuttiness. Pistachio goes a long way with both these wines. So.
Wow. Well, of course, the pepper picks up on the pepper here. I'm not really surprised by that, but I'm surprised that this wine got even fruitier.
Well, I was wondering how the raisins would
Yeah.
interplay with that. I was hoping it'd be in a good way.
And that the brininess of the duck also helps amplify the fruit, I believe.
And we like that. We like this.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pairing, Chef.
Yum-malicious.
Well, since I got the plate,
Well, yeah, maybe just have a little sliver there. See what
I
you
have a
think.
little bit of the beet.
I think the pistachio is going to like this Pinot. I got a hunch. The greenness and the saltiness of that, I think, is going to like this pepper. And of course, beets go with everything this time of year. I love red wine and beets. Of course, I'm fond of the gold. Of course, in the summer we get all those little heirloom varieties, but a golden beet is hard to beat.
It is hard to beat. And, I found the golden ones to be less earthy,
Yes, absolutely.
but the Pinot brings the earthy back out.
Brings it out.
And it works for the Pinot too. The earthiness of the beet brings up the earthiness in this Pinot. So that was a killer pairing as well, Chef.
Well, that's what's great about this. You can just kind of flip-flop them and try how they react with one another.
Yeah, you can enjoy, and that's what we tell people in person when we have 4 different things to taste. Yeah, I tell them, you can certainly try at least this one pairing. But don't be afraid to try the 4 different tastes with 4 different wines, because that's how you learn. You learn, it's not
But
necessarily.
everybody's palate's different.
That's
you
true.
know, so I mean, what works for us,
Yeah.
maybe for somebody else is their palate's going to be in tuned to a little something different.
Well, I mean, peanut butter and jelly is like one of the most classic combinations in the world, but I always preferred peanut butter honey. And so, like
Yes.
that's just one example of how little things we take for granted, y'all might like, but I don't necessarily care for. I'd rather have the peanut butter honey.
Well, and I like peanut butter and honey. I like the almond butter and honey is my favorite because, Isabel can't have peanuts. So I buy the almond butter, and I've become more fond of almond butter than peanut butter
Yeah.
with honey. And I like it more on a muffin than bread.
Oh, an English muffin.
English muffin, it's just...
It's the
And I
best.
like getting the whole wheat Thomas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thomas's whole
Thomas
wheat.
does a great job.
I mean, those are...
English
the
muffins,
cinnamon
like
raisin's good, too.
English muffins are like a great treat.
Well, and they're such an amazing vehicle for anything. They're great with just some warm butter.
They're great with burgers.
Great with burgers, and also for breakfast, a little egg and little egg and ham on those. I mean, I just love them.
Mhm.
God, I love them.
Oh, we love food around
and
here.
smoked salmon on an English muffin is always a real treat.
Mm.
I'm gonna go eat some English muffins after this.
Wow. So, I hope you're enjoying this under $25 Pinot. Elegant, a great value for Burgundy. You don't typically see those kind of prices, certainly for something that tastes that delicious.
It's delicious, and I always forget, Chef. Where does Gamay fall in on all that? On all
Gamay
this?
is only really truly grown in Beaujolais, but
Okay,
Beaujolais
gotcha.
is the southern part of Burgundy.
Okay.
So it is it's just, but when anyone says Burgundy red, the assumption is Pinot. Gamay's the number 2, just like
But Gamay to me is the profile is very similar.
oh, very
Yeah,
similar.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And then you've got so in the second white in Burgundy, we know white is Chardonnay when someone says, but there is Aligoté, and Aligoté is very much structured like Chardonnay, just like Gamay and Pinot are very similar. So there are a secondary white and a secondary red of Burgundy. And I was just, before we started our video, I was looking at some Aligotés.
It's a show.
Oh, it's our show. On channel 367.
In HD next year.
Right. All right. What they need is like a Cento vision so they can smell all this
No
deliciousness.
kidding.
Well, here we go. We are going
you.
we're going to head to a little island off the coast of Italy called Sicily. Great producer here, Stamari. And we have featured a previous vintage of this a couple, maybe 2-3 years back. It's a really fun blend. Cantodoro is what they call it. They just gave it a proprietary name. But it is actually a blend of Nero Diavolo, which is the red grape of Sicily. But they also blended it with some Cab Sauv. So we've got the most popular red in the world and the most popular red on their island marrying together. And I hope that you can see this, but that is some darkness.
And you can, the bouquet.
Isn't that
I
gorgeous?
don't
Yeah?
even, we're near the glass.
That's approaching black.
Yeah. The bouquet is just, it's permeating
yes.
everything. It is so floral.
There's a lot going on here.
A lot happening.
It reminds me a little bit of a Portuguese red. It's so dense.
It smells dense.
Mhm.
Can you smell a density?
Yeah, right. Well, we are
It's
today.
like when you're trying to read a street sign, you turn the radio down.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep,
the two
yep.
have nothing to do with one another, but somehow it makes one or the other easier. But I don't even want to taste it. I just want to enjoy it.
I'm getting like all kinds of dessert smells, like pastries and pies, like on the nose, like buttery pastries with fruit.
Butter and a little hibiscus. You're getting some rose.
I like that hibiscus.
But just cobbler for days.
Cobbler,
Yeah.
yes.
But before you bake it, you know
Yeah.
how when
It's the raw dough.
you steep your fruit too.
Yeah.
So you've got your dough, you've got your tempered butter,
Mhm.
and you can smell your tempered butter and vanilla. But then normally when I make cobbler, I'm doing cinnamon and red wine and sugar and all the orange, all the things that are soaking in the fruit before you actually bake it. It's just like pre-oven
Also,
color.
one other thing this reminds me of is when you used to steep your figs in red wine.
Yeah.
Because you used to do those little, you'd take those Turkish dried figs.
Yeah, the mission figs.
Yeah, and then you'd poach them because they're real hard and chewy when they're dried, and you would poach them and you'd put them on desserts and whatnot, or cheese platters.
Or cheese platters.
Yeah.
You get back to that.
That's
I've got some
that
downstairs.
smell is reminiscent right here. This is so. Obviously, whenever you're naming this many things about a wine, it's probably a good one.
It's a good thing.
All right, let's dig in this.
Have we even tasted this?
We haven't yet. The nose is phenomenal.
Well, guess what? So is the taste.
It does not disappoint.
Sometimes when you get a big bouquet like that, it can be a letdown on the
Right.
palate. Not the case here.
And this is nice little sneaky dryness at the end. It's very
Very much
plush
so.
wine, very much in balance.
But I'm digging the dry on the end. I'm digging the tannin. It's a soft tannin, but it's there and it does the fruit justice.
This is a quaffable wine,
That's good.
dangerously quaffable. There's hints of dried fruit all over it.
All over it.
Dates,
Even-
figs.
And it doesn't, and it's counterintuitive, but apricot.
Sure.
You know,
absolutely.
you would associate that more with a tropical white, but I swear it's in there. Peach and apricot.
There's
But
all
a
dried.
caramelized, dried,
Yeah,
caramelized.
intensified.
Yeah. So it's certainly not off the
Concentrated.
tree. Concentrated, yeah.
Yeah, these aren't fresh fruits. But boy, it's a fresh wine. It's drinking great. I think that this is one of the most price-wise, best values year in, year out. This is the 18. And year in and year out, this
Wow,
over
almost 4
delivers
years
for the
on that,
price.
yeah.
And you're talking about a $15 wine, which is insane.
I'll take a case.
I know you will. I already planned on that.
Sounds good.
It's just
I'll start the bidding.
right. The bidding starts now. So what we have here is something that it's a Tuesday night wine, budget wise, but you know it would be great paired alongside anything seasonal this time of year. Of course, we just got through Thanksgiving, and I hope you all had a healthy and safe Thanksgiving. Got to see the people you wanted to see. It was a busy time for us, but this is the kind of wine that would go well with that kind of food. Christmas food.
Ham, turkey,
Yep.
duck, pork, chicken. I mean, this is pasta.
Oh yeah.
Gratins of all
Oh, yeah.
manner, whether it be potato
Your
or
veggies,
vegetables
all
and
those great
yeah.
veggies. And
Sweet potatoes be great.
sweet
with
potatoes. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
super terrific.
This with that sweet potato casserole that every family has. Boy, that would be great with it.
Well,
Because it's
and-
fruity. It's super fruity. It gives you the
yeah.
illusion of sweetness, and
Yeah.
it's not sweet
but it's
at all.
not. But it lends itself to naturally sweeter things, and even beyond, a sugary, not a sugary, but a lot of people add brown sugar to sweet potatoes. But even there's such great natural sugar in fall vegetation, sweet potatoes,
Beets.
Brussels sprouts, beets, parsnips, onions, leeks. All of these things, when you introduce them to heat, we do a great job of release.
Butternut.
Oh, butternut.
Butternuts.
They don't really need sugar. I mean, if you let the natural sugars in them caramelize,
Yeah.
like the Brussels sweet potato thing we did at Thanksgiving.
that was
It had a
wonderful.
little bacon into it, so
Dad
it had
loved
enough
that.
sweetness without sugar.
Yeah, Dad was praising that, and the potato leek gratin.
No, that was a home run. That was a big hit. I took
Yeah.
I took a little bit home Thursday after you and I left here on Thanksgiving Day, and Megan and Mrs. Wishart made short work of that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, that was one of their favorites.
Yum.
My favorite was the gravy. I just put gravy. I just had gravy.
Gravy's good.
Gravy and stuffing. I
Yeah.
don't even need a turkey.
I was very fortunate. I had a Thanksgiving with my mother and stepfather, some friends, some dear friends. It was really nice on Thanksgiving Day, and then got to double down and have a second Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving.
on Sunday down in Fayetteville with dad and stepmom and brother and his new fiance.
And congratulations. It was great to see them. They
It
seem
was
so
great.
happy.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be great.
Good job, Whit.
And then I whipped them in board games. It was awesome.
Well, they were owed a whooping. They get a little cocky down there.
Well,
They
I
need
beat
to go
everybody,
in there
but
and straighten 'em out.
you can't beat Elizabeth though.
Beat her about anything. That's one smart woman.
Yeah, yeah. Chef, I'm gonna try the pairing now.
So,
I know.
so now we talked about this. So the beet and the goat ought to be a home run with this.
Mm-hmm.
You could even cook the beets a little longer. I got a little caramelization on those, but not tremendous. So maybe tomorrow when I'm doing the kits, I'll take it just a little further, try to get a little more color on those. And I think that might be a home run. And the Pinot would like that color as well.
The beets shine again. Yeah, once again,
Yeah, fruit.
they're playing great off of this. Now I'm gonna go backtrack here to the duck, Chef.
Oh, that raisin's gonna love this wine. It's gonna absolutely adore this wine. Because you could even, we talked about the figs. Obviously, dried grapes, raisins, would really hop on to the flavor profile here. Next thing you know, they'll be pickling cucumbers. When I'm saying dried raisins, what an idiot. The
You know what? Also, the pepper does great too.
yeah, it's dry enough on the end to handle a little pepper.
That's all working. You called it, Chef. That is a duality of pairing there.
Well, and you would think, you think about that would be a good dish on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, having some beets and goat cheese with duck as an
Sure.
entree, and either one of these wines would be a great choice for it. So that
Absolutely.
was kind of
I
my
love it.
thinking there. That rather than
So-
two appetizers, you're really looking at
A singular dish,
singular dish,
just
but
kind of decomposed.
decomposed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's delicious. Thank you so much.
it's such a great little winter treat. It's cold today. It's been really cold.
Yeah, it's supposed to warm up, but we're due. I guess. Well, winter doesn't officially start for 3 weeks. Isn't that hard to believe? Happy December.
It's December 1st.
Yeah.
Cheers to December.
December 1st on this video recording. December 2nd to you guys.
Have you been doing any of your early morning soccer lately?
No.
Well, I've been leaving early a lot lately. And let me tell you, first I take the dogs out every morning. It's been brutal. It's been in the
Yeah.
mid to low 20s even when it warms up to 50 or 60, every morning's in the mid to low 20s.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a little tired of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only November/December, and it's January, February weather.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
makes me wonder if January is going to be beautiful.
it probably will
With
be.
all the cold weather.
Because that's what North Carolina does.
Yeah.
North Carolina's the craziest weather on the planet.
It's true.
You go snow one day, be 70 the next.
Well, and it's been so dry. I think it's where everybody has it a little cold. I wish we had some rain to help the poor people in Pilot. Those
Yeah.
brave firefighters out there fighting this blaze without any help from Mother Nature is kind of a tough draw.
Yeah, the winds really got hold of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're knock on wood so far. No structures, no human life has been, decimated in any form or fashion. Other than they're probably exhausted. The firefighters are.
They're exhausted, and they got to be discouraged because the ground is so dry and the wind has been whipping.
There's so much fire load in that area. It's
Oh,
leaves
I mean,
and
it's just-
branches, and it's just it's
It's
mostly
peak
pine.
leaf season. I mean,
Yeah.
it's dry. They're all on the ground. I mean, it's just so much accelerant everywhere you look.
Oh yeah,
It's,
yeah. Well,
it's a tough draw.
been talking to a lot of my ex-firefighting buddies this week, and it's certainly on the front of everybody's mind. And all the active ones out there, our thoughts and prayers are with you as you try to defend against that, because there's so many of our regulars have homes and businesses all around Pilot
everywhere.
Mountain.
Yeah. Half our staff lives in Pilot.
When we were coming back from Dad's, we saw the smoke when we were in Greensboro.
It's crazy.
And when we got to Winston, the entire downtown was smoky. That's
I mean,
30 miles away.
1,000 acres on fire is that's a
And
real thing.
Yeah, Winston-Salem's getting smoked out, and obviously it could be a lot worse if it weren't for the men and women that are fighting that blaze. And I know there's a lot of people contributing time and resources, and to them I thank you, because it affects all of us.
It does, and it really puts in perspective too, when we think, because we don't see this a lot.
We're fortunate.
And out west, I mean, it really puts in perspective when you see 900 acre fire
There-
here in our backyard, and you see the long reaching effects
Yeah.
of it. And then you look out west, and they're like, 30,000 acres. on
Right,
that
yeah.
fire. And that's pretty normal.
Right.
You
Yeah.
do 30,000 acres,
Right.
and that's a small fire for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I mean, it really puts it in perspective, the amount of man and woman power and tankers and all the affected areas.
Oh yeah.
About 30,000 acre fire.
You're
which
absolutely
which
right.
is not unusual at all.
Yeah.
And they'll have multiple ones of those going
Right.
simultaneously.
Us East Coasters don't have a real perspective of that. We are fortunate that we get a little more moisture, and boy, out there it gets so dry.
Well, and of course, the vastness of the West.
It's big. Yeah.
I mean, the West is so vast.
Yeah.
And I don't think people who haven't traveled out there, and going to San Francisco ain't the West. I mean,
No.
that basically when you leave there, there's 70% of the country. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
it's woods.
It's open. Yeah.
It's just
wide
woods.
open.
And fire season and they're accelerating. Of course, they do so much controlled burns, but there's a lot of areas where it's political.
Yeah.
They don't like
Yeah.
where the
They don't like
the
the
environmental
control burns,
groups.
yeah.
Some are for it, some are not. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is what you get when you don't do
Control.
maintenance,
Yeah.
controlled burns.
And I mean, I
maintenance.
know that that's the first thing that goes in all the budgets. Controlled burns is one of those expenses that most people don't want to.
Well,
to
and
put
it's
out.
and they worry about the spotted 3-footed owl and these things, and rightfully so. But at the same time, that's not the way to regenerate a forest.
Right.
And it is, and it will regenerate. These devastating fires.
Mhm.
The reason God invented lightning is to regenerate
Mhm.
forests and lands, and so it's there for a reason. But you let it get out of control, and it's just you're waiting on your grandkids to see the new trees.
Yeah, but it's gonna be interesting to see when Lisa and I take the dogs to run the Grindstone Trail where that's they actually named the fire after, and it's gonna be interesting to see if there's what's left.
What's left.
Obviously.
Tamisa and her friend, that's the area they like to walk and jog too,
Yeah. And that's where I found all those beautiful chanterelles.
Chanterelles, yeah, that's
oh,
right.
man. Oh,
they'll
now
actually
my
benefit. They'll
secret's
actually
out.
benefit from
Oh
it.
yeah, the mushrooms live underground.
Yeah, I mean, and so their world will get bigger.
They're like
Yeah,
sweet.
sweet.
Yeah.
Get all the
There's-
competition out of here.
Yeah.
All of our resource now.
Yeah, they'll be chowing on what's left.
But you worry about, of course, there's animals are smarter than us. I don't know why I ever worry about an animal.
Yeah, a lot of people were worried about the loss of animal life, but those animals have a deeper sense of Mother Nature, and they're more in tune.
Yeah, and they're
and
smarter
they
than us.
and they know when to move,
When
and
to
they
move and
leave
come back,
early.
Yeah.
They know it's coming. Trees could if they had feet.
Well, and luckily the trees are still living underground.
Yeah, that's right.
They're going to come
Absolutely.
right back up. And
Life
they're
is in the
gonna be a new
root
life.
for sure.
Yeah.
As we well know from our vines in the wine world, the roots are very important.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving and look forward to the Christmas season ahead. We've got a lot of big Christmas parties coming up.
A lot of Christmas chef tables coming
Chef
up.
tables galore. Holy
It's
cow.
going to be a busy month for us.
We've got people coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy month for us. A lot of planning, a lot of wine, a lot of execution. It's going to be a challenge, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun to celebrate with everybody.
Yeah.
It's always an honor when people want to celebrate with you.
Yeah, I don't want to end on a somber note, but I would feel remiss if I did not mention that we got news just before the filming that one of our regulars and
In our life.
in our life, yeah, not necessarily for the restaurant, Mr. PJ Snow passed, and there's not enough positive things I can say about a man of his character, a man of principle, and a man that really looked at all the adversity in life and overcame it, and has a huge, beautiful family that he has nurtured and led the way for it, and led the way for this community to be strong. When I was in When I first was recruited to come up to Southwest Virginia and work at Old Mill, he was one of the first people that I met. Man of high character.
Well, and you knew him at Cross Creek before you even
That-
came back to the area.
So it was a real blessing to me and anybody that crossed his path to have such a great, I don't know, I guess his presence, his leadership in this area, it will never be forgotten.
Well, and he was a man of great conviction and stature, but he was always soft smoking, always had a smile. He had such a great outlook.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's just the world needs more men like him.
He's a man.
He's a man, and I
And
admire
we got
him
a lot
greatly.
of we got a lot of boys in the world right now.
There's a lot of boys masquerading as men, and PJ's. No one would ever mistake him for that. And I've known PJ for 17 years, in 3 different all the environments I've been in at Cross Creek and at my place across the street and at the winery, and just never changed.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Steady Eddie.
steady Eddie, and all of it good.
In the good way.
And in
yeah,
all
so,
of it good. He's got a big, beautiful family, like you were mentioning, and we've had the privilege of getting to know most, if not all of them. And what a devastating loss, wrapped in a privilege that we all had to know and be a part of his life.
I think PJ's the kind of guy that didn't want tears shed for him.
No, where he wanted a little
He
toast.
wanted a little. So
Toast.
hey, let's do that, Chef.
I'm in.
For the man amongst boys.
May we all strive to be half of what he was.
I want to grow up to be a Mr. PJ Snow.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To a good life.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.
Thanks for coming to the show.
The show.